Good morning, everyone. How are you guys? I see a lot of you have joined, right? Shambhavi is there, Ganga, Jitab, Shiva, Mayur, Ganesh, Naveen, Varsha is there, Licha is there. A very good morning to all of you. Shiva, happy to see you again as well, right? We just wait for another 15-20 seconds so that other folks also join in. Till then, any questions, any doubts, kahin bhi confusion hai, any clarifications that you're seeking, just drop in that, right? Drop that in the chat box. I'll be happy to help. Drop whatever doubts or something that you have, right? Study material questions, वगैरह, like I promised, after chapter 3, we'll cover that with a quiz, and then we will also do some after study material questions. Till then, any questions on the syllabus in terms of जो भी अभी तक पढ़ा है, chapter 1 or chapter 2, right? Yes, Varsha, wish you a very great day today as well. Good Thursday. I'm good, Dhanesh. I'm good. Thank you so much. How about you? How are you doing? Great. Vinita, Kushak is there. Shambhavi, Shashank, Ayushi, Divyashri, Jyoti, Ritu, Jaspreet is there. Misha is there. Jyoti is there. Ankit, Swarnika. Great. Thanks, guys, for being on time, right? Vinita is also there. Cool. Any questions, any doubts? If not, we'll quickly start with where we left off. All doubts are clear? Wonderful. Sure, Kushagra has a question. If there are any business setup like HUF for Muslims and Christian families, Kushagra, there are, right? Probably, but not covered in the syllabus per se, because HUF is one of the most prominent, those are still relevant, right? And from a syllabus perspective, we are taking that. What kind of declaration, Jaspreet has a question, what kind of declaration form needs to be submitted for examination purpose? You will have to check. See, declaration, there are 2-3 kinds of declarations. I remember in our times, there was certain declaration in terms of like whatever you're declaring in terms of your education, class 12th and everything, that needs to be declared. But I think there is some change in the declaration form as well. You will have to check that from the examination perspective. Talk to your friends probably. I seriously don't have any clue on the examination form vagera thing. It's been 6-7 years now. Great. Okay. Relationship between organization and its environment. That is what we are doing. That is what is on the screen. I'll quickly revise this, right? And then we'll go forward with that. Sure. So only this slide is yellow. You see, the next slides will be white only. This is yellow because I just want to make sure that I'm on the right slide. Jahan pe, like where we stopped yesterday on the last session, I start from there. That is, I've done this as yellow. And chapter 1's PPT I have uploaded. If you guys want to go and check that out after the session, I've uploaded chapter 1. We'll complete chapter 2, part 1 today. Part 2 also we'll start if we have time, right? And I upload these also. Cool. So let us quickly get into where we left off in chapter 2. Business environment is what we are studying, and business environment, we were talking about relationship between business and its environment, wherein it's a two-way. It's like business gives information, gives resources, gives influence and power, and that is the same thing it gets from the environment as well. That is what it gets from the environment as well. Information milti hai, resources milte hain, and it also gets influence and power, right? So think about this. Business is getting a lot of information from the competitors, from the suppliers, from different government policy change ho raha hai, kuch bhi change ho raha hai. It is getting that information from the environment. And resources like people working in the company, or resources like natural resources, raw material, whatever it is needed, like money ho gaya, like all the kind of resources, financial resources, operational resources, it is getting from the environment. And similar thing, it is giving back to the environment in terms of finished goods, products and services as well, right? Influence and power. Influence, it influences the environment. Let's say Reliance hai, Tata hai, Patanjali hai. These are very powerful organizations. They have the power to influence the environment. Environment mein kya hota? What is environment? You remember we studied what is environment. Environment, I gave you an example, right? Environment is nothing. Environment is nothing, but it is just these 6-7 components of a government, supplier, creditors, customers, bankers, competitors, right? All these are environment. इन्हीं को तो environment बोलते हैं, right? So all of this is what a business is influencing and giving power on. Like it's getting power from that, it is showing its power, it is showing its influence on them. And similarly, these things are showing their influence on the business. Supplier kal ko bolta I will increase my prices. Business has to change. If the business says ki nahi hum to sasta kharidenge, right? So the supplier has to change, right? So this is how an influence between the business and the environment happens, right? Awesome. You have a question, unable to open the notes. Why? So PDF I've uploaded, yeah. Okay. Not able to download, probably give it some time. Maybe after the session, 2-3 ghante baad it will refresh or something, we will be able to download them. But it is uploaded there. Try after the session once. Okay. You have a question not related to our syllabus. Hemang, keep that question for the end, right? For aaj ke session ke end mein, do ask that question. Right? Keep a note. वो पूछना मेरे से, I'll answer that. Happy to answer. But right now, let's focus on the syllabus for the next 2 hours. Right? My name is not available in the feedback form. That is an issue, yeah. I will check with the technical team once. For others, I think my name should be there in the feedback form. Is not there in the feedback form. No worries. I'll check it. I'll check it with the technical team. होना चाहिए, right? Because I want to know what you guys want more from me, what I'm doing right. So I want that feedback. Cool, I'll check that once with the technical team. They'll probably add my name in the feedback form then. Sure. So let us move on to understand what basically, right? What basically, when we say how to understand the environment's influence on the business, right? Now think about this. Number one is check certainty. Now what is happening? When I talk about environment, when I talk about the influence का क्या मतलब होता है? Anything that changes in the environment will lead to me changing my strategy for the business. My decisions for my business will also change. My decisions for my business will also change when there is change in the environment. If certain change happens in the environment, I will also have to change my business strategy. I will have to change my business decisions. And that is what check certainty means. Changes frequently and or delayed. That means बहुत जल्दी change आ रहा है environment में और slowly. Like, is the change delayed? Is the change happening every 2 days, every 5 days, every 2 months, every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, after every 3 years? How is that change happening? What is the frequency of the change? Like, clothes changes very quickly. If you are in the fashion industry, think about this. If you're in the fashion industry, the cloth fashion is changing like every 2 or 3 months. Right? कभी white jeans चल जाती है. Sometimes it's ripped jeans. Sometimes it's monkey wash. Sometimes you have all those knee-torn jeans, right? Ripped jeans, low waist, high waist, bell bottom. The fashion keeps changing. So as a business, you see an influence. A lot of customer preferences keep changing. A lot of things keep changing. So I also have to keep changing my business ke products, my decisions, my marketing, my money, my capital infusion, my advertisement, everything has to change with the changing environment. Number two, list of majorly affecting factors, right? So what you'll do is you'll figure out here, check certainty, and you'll find out, let's say I have 7 factors, right? I have 7 factors which are affecting or influencing my business. First is customer preference, that is money available with the banks or the interest rate I'm getting on my loan. Government is changing, the state government is changing. Let's say elections ho rahe hain in UP, in Goa, right? Or these elections are happening all like in different states. Businesses in that state have to see ki yaar acha, if the government changes, it could affect our business. It could really affect our business if, let's say in Punjab, Aam Aadmi Party comes. So the businesses might start thinking, ki, Achha, so we will have more opportunities or less opportunities. If BJP comes, more opportunities. So every business has to understand from their own perspective, right? So a business person has to sit down and think, what all things can influence my business? What all things in the environment can influence my decision making? And they create a list. And list में पता चलता है कि अच्छा, I have 7 factors that are going to affect my business. Number 2, what you do, you list majorly affecting factors. That means out of these 7, 4 factors are okay, lallu se factors, I don't want to care about that. 3 factors are very important for me. 3 factors are majorly affecting factors, right? Like seasonality ho gaya. seasonality or customer preference, legal suits on competitors, or promotional techniques change हो रहे हैं. So out of these 7 factors, let's say there are 3 factors. Number 1 is customer preference. Number 2 is our competitor. हमारे competition के ऊपर there is some legal case happening. मेरे को benefit हो सकता है उससे, right? As a business person, I think, let's say I'm Airtel, I'm Jio. Vodafone के ऊपर there was an 11-13,000 crore का tax का legal trouble. So for me, it became an opportunity. I could understand, acha, so if that is happening with Vodafone, that means all the people will leave Vodafone and come to Airtel or Jio. So they started pitching, they started spending more on advertisement, they started giving better plans, right? Because all those customers of Vodafone were to come to Airtel or Jio. So वो लाने के लिए they understood that opportunity, right? So they list down major affecting factors. Out of these 7, 3 are my key important factors which are influencing my decision making in the business. Number 3, more focus on immediate factors. Out of these three, let us say there are 2 kinds. Immediately कुछ affect करेगा, or let's say कुछ 6 या 10 महीने बाद. Like not immediately, but in the long term it will affect. It can either be short term affecting or it can be long term affecting, right? It can either be short term affecting or it can be long term affecting business, right? Awesome. Nikita's keyboard is not working, I think. She has written a lot of XYZ. Cool. Or something dropped on your keyboard, right? So more focus on immediate factors. That means on the short term factors, you have to be more focused rather than on the long term. Short term, whatever factors are going to influence your decisions, be more focused on that. In the long term, you will have to take care of those jab wo honge, right? So take care of the short term factors immediately. Okay, so 3 things. How do you understand an environmental influence? First is you make a list, you check how many factors are affecting you, check the certainty. Kitni jaldi ho rahe hai, how are they happening, right? How frequently they are happening. Number 2 is you list down the majorly affecting. Let's say like we have 7-8 factors. Out of these, 3 factors are very important. Then you divide them into short term and long term, and you do more focus on the short term and you do less focus on the long term in the short term, right? So jab wo honge long term wale, then you have to focus on that. But in immediate effect, like immediately, you have to focus on the short term factors, right? Cool. My name is not coming. I'll check that after the session, right? I'll get that corrected. Cool. Okay. Any questions? I told that in the last session. I told that if CMs or ministers are employees or professionals, I answered that question. They need nothing. They are doing a non-economic activity. Profession, business ho ya fir employee ho, that comes under economic activity, while politicians ideally are doing non-economic activity, right? We all know what is happening, but ideally the motive is not to earn money. The motive is to serve the nation. For a politician, for a minister, for MLA, for member of parliament, or member of Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, right? That is member of parliament. It is a non-economic activity, and non-economic activity में तो business profession employee होता ही नहीं. So they are none of the above. They are doing non-economic activity, right? That is what the answer was. Tanmay, you can ask all your questions at virtualclasses@ici.org, right? All those questions would be directed to me. If you have any doubts, any questions, right? All that questions would be related to BCK will be directed to me, right? Awesome. Politicians are representatives of people. Absolutely, Varun. Right? How promotion techniques impact business? Promotion techniques change. Social media again, now social media marketing, digital marketing. These things are changing, right? Pehle you would have radio ads, television ads. Abhi kya hota hai? Social media, memes. People do advertisement through memes. Meme bana dete hai. मीम से एडवर्टीजमेंट हो रही है, डिजिटल मार्केटिंग हो रही है, इन्फ्लुएंस मार्केटिंग हो रही है, सोशल मीडिया, इंस्टाग्राम, फेसबुक, यूट्यूब. This is promotion techniques. These are changing, right? These are influencing how the businesses are working, right? That is how promotional techniques are affecting your business decisions. You have to see a change ho raha hai. The environment is changing. right? We started this chapter in the last session. We are completed 20% of the chapter now, right? If probably we'll have to go back and look at it. For like Geo, the recharge plan, so people will move to Geo and changes attract customers. That is right. That is absolutely right. Majorly affecting means out of all the factors that are affecting you, which are the ones which are majorly, which are more important, right? Which are more important is what we target at, is what we focus at, right? The ones which are more important is what we focus at. This is in the module as well. This is in the module as well. After this graph, you will see somewhere after this graph, you will see in the module as well. Cool. Okay. Now think about this. To understand the influence, to understand what is happening in the environment, मुझे समझना है कि environment में क्या हो रहा है. I need data, right? I need data. And data having commercial importance is called information. Remember this, right? Data having commercial importance means information, right? Now think about this from a business perspective. I am telling you there is a data. The data is there. I sell 100. I say 1,000 mobiles. Okay, I sell 1,000 mobiles, and 20% people return this mobile to me. जैसे कि नहीं यार मजा नहीं आया. After delivery, they return this mobile saying कि नहीं टूटा हुआ था, हमें अच्छा नहीं लगा. You have 7 days return policy. 1,000 people, right? 1,000 people को I sell mobile and 20% return. So around 200 mobiles come back to me. This is a data. This is a data. Now having commercial importance. How is this helping? Now by this I understand that when people are returning, मेरे को delivery charge तो लग रहा है, right? 20 rupees is what I'm spending on taking these mobiles back, right? 20 rupees is my delivery charge on taking the mobiles back from the customer per customer. So 20 into 200, 4,000 rupees. अभी 4,000 rupees is my cost, I have to understand कि अगर मैं out of these 1,000 mobiles I sell and I make 5 rupees per mobile. I'm making 5,000 rupees. Cool. And 200 people return. The return cost to me is 20 rupees. So 4,000 rupees to मेरे cost में चले जाते हैं of this return, right? So I'm ideally only making 1,000 rupees, right? Now this data has a commercial importance to me to understand how much money I make. This becomes my information. A simple data having commercial importance is an information, becomes an information for me, right? Data जिससे कुछ मेरे को business decision में मदद मिले. Any form of data, it can be any data, which helps me make informed decisions, which helps me make decisions for my business, is called information. Simple. Okay. Information helps in taking strategic decisions. For example, change in vehicle motor laws, right? It's a data for biscuit manufacturer, but it is an information for an automobile manufacturer. Think about this. If electric vehicle are right? EV vehicles are coming. Now this is a data for biscuit manufacturer. Abhi Good Day, the company which is making Good Day or Parle G biscuit walon ke liye, that the EV vehicles, the government says we are going to give subsidy on electric vehicles. It's just a data. वो बस एक data है. They don't have any business decision. Parle G is not going to use that information to make any business decision. उनको biscuit से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. But for a Tata Motors, for a Mahindra, for a Bajaj, people who are into automotive manufacturing businesses, for them, that data is an information. For them, that piece of data is an information because that helps them make informed decisions, right? Correct? So, abhi electric vehicle aa raha hai is a data for biscuit manufacturer, but for the same automobile industry, that is an information because it helps in taking strategic decisions. Data versus information. Simple, right? Now, Why do we do environmental analysis? अभी हमको समझ आ गया how does business influence. There are different factors that are influencing. I have to identify all the factors. I have to identify major factors, and I have to focus immediately on the short-term factors. Understood. How do I identify data from the environment, from magazine, from newspaper, from different news channels, from talking to people, then listening to people, watching videos on YouTube, reading the news? I gather a lot of data. And if that data is important for me to make this business decisions, it is an information for me. Understood. But why do I do that? ये सब क्यों करूं मैं? Why, as a business person, मैं क्यों information इकट्ठा करता हूँ? Why do I go and collect information? Why should I go and make any informed decision? Why do I even need all of this? Why do you need all of this? Number one, when you gather information, when you analyze your environment, it provides a view of change in environment, right? It provides a view of what is changing in the environment. It is important to be aware, right? Environment में change क्या हो रहा है? You have to be aware of that anyway, right? If things are changing around you, you have to be aware of that. And that is how it helps you. Number two, it provides input for strategic decision making, right? You should be aware what is happening in the environment, and it provides with strategic decision making के लिए inputs, right? Information say you have, now you gather information, now you have inputs to take decisions, right? It helps you take decisions. Number three, should foster strategic thinking in the organization. What it does is, right, the purpose of environmental analysis is it fosters strategic thinking, right? Sirf chalti gaadi is not a business. You think strategically. This is changing. This is what a piece of information I got. Let me do that. Let me go and do that, right? It fosters a strategic thinking in the organization, right? If things are changing around me, if people are doing different things, my competition is doing something else, government is doing something else, supplier kuch kar raha hai, customer preference change ho raha hai, the way I used to do marketing is changing, boss, let me go and change how I do my business. It fosters a strategic thinking in the organization. It helps you think creatively towards your business, right? Three things: provides what is happening in the environment, it provides a view of change in the environment, it provides input for strategic decision making, and it fosters means it encourages strategic thinking in the organization, right? Simple. Foster means to encourage. Does it mean information is the currency in non-market environment? Absolutely yes. Data is the new oil, right? That is what all people say. Facebook kya kar raha hai? Facebook is collecting data. From that data, it is selling that data to everyone to create that into information. WhatsApp kya kar raha hai? Facebook kya kar raha hai? Tesla kya kar raha hai? Uber kya kar raha hai? Now, an Uber knows. Now, think about this. You book an Uber. Let's say you book an Uber at 12:10, right, in the afternoon. Now, Uber knows that this person from this mobile number will be traveling from this place to this place, right, at 12:10. That is the data. Now, think about this. Now, if I know I'm traveling from, let's say, from A point to B point, I can sell this data to a company. To a company which understands, okay, this person is traveling, and you do this, and you travel using Uber every day to your office. Now a company knows, अच्छा इनका office यहाँ पे, इनका घर यहाँ पे है. That becomes a data, right? And they can use this to give certain advertisements to you, or give certain offers to you, right? Now think about this. This has happened. Okay, so you would also understand this. आप कुछ भी बात करेंगे, whatever you talk or whatever you search on Google Chrome or any browser that you use, you get the advertisement on your Instagram stories, or you get an advertisement in your Instagram reels, right? If you search something on your Google Chrome or any browser, usi same cheese ki advertisement you get on Instagram or Facebook, right? That happens. YouTube पे भी ad आ जाती है, right? If you're using Zomato daily, आपको खाने की बहुत सारी ad आएगी, right? You will get a lot of advertisement from Zomato or from different or like food delivery apps. That happens. That is exactly what data and information is doing for us, right? Absolutely. Google is collecting all that data, what we are browsing, and then giving advertisement. Absolutely, that is happening. वही है data, वही है information, right? It is the new oil, right? Okay. Now, we have understood the basics. Okay, now we have understood the basics of what an environment is. We understood what is business environment, right? Why is it important to study business environment, how it influences the business, and how can a business influence it back, right? Reliance, Patanjali, Tata, what we talked about. We also understood how and why to understand business influences, right? How do you understand that, and why do you have to understand business influences, right? These are the basics of understanding business environment, right? Now let us understand the component and how do we identify analyze. समझ आ गया? Identify करना होता है, समझना होता है what is business environment. We understood what is business environment. Why should we analyze? How should we analyze? But let us now deep dive, understanding the components, right? What are the different components? How do we identify them? How do we analyze them, right? Let us quickly get into that portion of this chapter, that is business environment, right? Absolutely. If you're checking ICAI website every day, the ads are also coming on YouTube, right? That happens. That happens. Good. Now think about this, okay? Now there is a very, I think, oh, here we go. The next topic what we have is called environment scanning, okay? Now think about this. I told you environment analysis karna chahiye. Analysis, what we do is we understand what is happening in the environment, we understand what are the factors, we understand what is to be done. It helps us gather information. But us information ka hum karenge kya? Whether that information is an opportunity for me, whether that information is a threat for me, what does that information tell me about the change, about the things that are happening in the environment? Okay. When I gather information, whether that creates an opportunity or is it a threat for me, how do I analyze that? You analyze that through environment scanning. Okay. You understand that through environment scanning. It's a process by which the organization monitors an relevant environment to identify opportunities and threats, right? Environment scanning simple hai. आप कोई भी information that you get from the environment, how do you understand it is an opportunity or whether it is a threat for you, right? You understand that by doing environment scanning, okay? But you do that by environment scanning. Environment scanning, say, what do? You categorize that information into 4 things, okay? Whatever information you get, you can categorize that into 4 things through environment scanning. Number 1, events. Number 2, trends. Number 3, issues. And number 4, expectations, right? Number 1 is events. Number 2, trend. Number 3, issues. And number 4, expectations, right? Sure. So Alafia is saying how all big industries are converting to zero net carbon emission. Absolutely, yes. That's an influence. That is an information that they're getting, that in the next 10, 15 years, if your industry, if your company is creating a lot of pollution, the government is going to kill your business. They're going to push you to stop doing your business, right? You have to be environment friendly, right? In the long term, by implementing some green energy technology, right? That is what companies are doing. Absolutely. And that is something we'll study right now, whether it is an opportunity or it is a threat, right? Good example. We'll take this up easy. Okay. So 4 things you identify, you do an environment scanning and you categorize that piece of information into 4 things. It can either be an event, a trend, an issue, or an expectation. But what are these? Okay. Now, event क्या है? Event is certain happenings in the environment. कुछ भी, one single thing that is happening in the environment. It's a one big event that happens in the environment, right? One big event that happens in the environment. It's called event. For example, note ban in India, right? Note bandi ho gayi. The currency changed, right? The currency changed. And all the businesses, for everyone in the country, for all the businesses, that was an event. COVID was an event, right? COVID was an event. note ban was an event that is certain happening in the environment. कुछ एकदम से बदलाव हो गया, something changed instantly, suddenly, right? And that is called an event, right? Certain thing happened, like Ukraine, right? Russia and Ukraine ka war, right? What is happening right now in the Eurasia area is a lot of tension is being created in Russia, between Russia, America, China, UK, right? Ukraine invasion and all those things. Today morning's news, right? That is an event. That is an event, and you will see share market today is going down. 3-4% share market has dropped today itself. That is an event in the environment, and all these businesses are being going to get affected. Now, let's say if between Russia and US, now India, who will India support? If India supports US, it will have like business problems with Russia. If it supports Russia, it will have business problems from USA. So all these businesses who have like export business in Russia or USA, now they are very concerned कि यार एकदम से there is an event in the environment, कुछ हो रहा है देशों में, and that is going to affect our business. So let's say US says कि if you support Russia, we will stop all the imports. Now ये सारे exporters का धंधा ही चौपट हो जाएगा. They will not have business in US, right? So it's an event that is certain happening in the environment. Number 2, right? Like pandemic, lockdown is an event. Boycott of Chinese apps is an event, and we will talk about that. It's certain thing as well. Number 2 is trend, right? Trend क्या होता है? What is trend? Grouping of similar events of occurrence, right? Can also call a pattern. Trend ko we can also call a pattern. What is a pattern? Okay, what is a pattern? Pattern is also very simple, right? Right. What is a pattern? A pattern or a trend, grouping of similar events of occurrences, can also, we also call that as a pattern, right? Like online payment for shopkeepers is a new challenge. Online payment, we do like now all the shopkeepers now have to go for online payment. ये trend बन गया, right? Earlier everyone used to transact in cash, but now everyone has to transact through online payment, right? That is a trend now. Certain thing that has changed over the period. One time thing nahi. It's not a one time event. It is something that has changed over the period, right? It's a pattern now. All the shopkeepers say, nahi, aap scan kar do, aap UPI scan kar do, Paytm scan kar do, give us online payment. That is trend, right? That is trend. After this, we have issues, right? Issue क्या होता है? Issues arise from events and trends. कुछ event होता है, कुछ trend बदलता है. It creates a lot of issues for the businesses, for the customers, right? Note ban हो गया. It creates issue. Like from an event or trend, we have issues. Event or trend से, right? Event or trend से क्या होता है? It creates an issue. Event and trend creates an issue. Okay. Now think about this. Event है या कुछ trend change हो रहा है. It creates a lot of issue. What is happening? People now have to download multiple apps for different payment wallets. Paytm earlier क्या होता था? Paytm का अलग wallet है, Google Pay अलग है, Amazon Pay अलग है, Phone Pay अलग है. You have to download all these 5-6 apps. So what Google Pay did, now what Paytm is doing, now what all these apps are saying, एक ही barcode पे any app, right? It's a single unified payment system, UPI. It is called Unified Payment Interface, right? UPI आ गया. So UPI क्या कर रहा है? It's saying any barcode you can pay using any app, just one barcode you need. एक ही barcode scan करो, किसी भी wallet से, किसी भी app से आप payment कर दीजिए, right? That is issue that was created, right? So now issue क्या था? People had to download a lot of things, right? People had to download multiple apps. परेशान हो गए यार, online payment तो हम कर देंगे. There is a trend that government is saying online payment karo, but people say, boss, trend to theek hai, but it is creating a lot of issue for me because I have to download so many apps. So what happened? It created expectation. The customer said ki yaar, my expectation is some company should solve this problem. Now due to event and trend, एक issue create हो गया. Issue क्या था? Issue क्या था? That multiple apps I have to download. It created an issue. Now because of this issue, the customers were having an expectation. The customers having an expectation कि boss, somebody has to solve this. The boss, somebody has to solve this for me, right? It created an expectation, demands made by the customer to solve the issue, right? And then came the unified payment system, right? Your UPI, right? Like Google Pay, Paytm, Amazon. Now single barcode say you can do that. Cool. Now this is what is happening. This is your event or trend. एक event हो गया या कोई trend हो गया, and that causes you to actually do that, right? And that actually adds up, that creates an issue for the customer. And what happens is customer has an expectation. The customer has an expectation कि boss कुछ हमें issue हो रहा है, we are facing some problem, somebody has to solve this, right? Somebody has to solve this, and then the businesses have to identify the problem and solve that, right? And this is called environment scanning. अभी इससे क्या होता है? You're finding an opportunity here, right? Business is finding an opportunity in expectation. It is a threat when there is an issue. For the existing businesses, there is a threat when there is an issue. It is an opportunity what they can convert it into solving that issue. कोई event होता है, right? कोई event होता है या कोई trend होता है. It can either be an opportunity or a threat, right? Now the business has to identify कि यार कुछ अगर change हो रहा है, some trend or some event is happening, whether it is an opportunity or it is a trend. If it is an opportunity, you solve the expectations, right? You solve the expectations of the customer and you make money in your business. Otherwise, कोई और solve कर देगा and you will be pushed out of business, right? And that is what environment scanning is all about. That is what we understand in environment scanning, right? That is what environment scanning is all about. Just give me 1 second. Right. Cool. Do you understand this? Okay, so someone is saying a Badam Badam song is also a trend. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a trend. That's a pattern. Now everyone is doing that. Now even film stars or even brands will start doing that. Bharat Pay and India cancelled the mega agreement with US even for America. Absolutely yes. It can be an event. Like if some big contract or big certain thing happens between the governments, that becomes an event, and businesses have to be very aware of that, right? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Anything that is not clear? Anything that you want to understand? Awesome. Awesome. What about others? I want each one of you to tell me if it is clear. Otherwise, please ask your questions. We'll take 30 seconds here. If anyone has any questions, if it's clear, write down all clear, understood, whatever, give me a thumbs up or something, so that I get to know that it is clear to you guys. Right, trends are certain pattern, right? Kuch online, like the new trend is people, the shopkeepers are saying pay online. हमें cash मत दो, pay money online, scan करके दो. That is a trend. That is something that is changing, right? This is becoming the new normal. That is what a trend is. It's a group of similar events that become a pattern. वो कुछ change आ रहा है, right? Earlier, people used to live in joint families. Now people live in nuclear. Then people started living in nuclear families, where mother, father, sister, brother, they used to live. Now, एक और step आगे. Now, what is happening is children are living in different city, parents are living in different city. So this is a trend. This is something that has become a new change. Businesses have to understand this. कि अच्छा, people stay alone. That means ज़्यादा घर चाहिए. More real estate, and that is why a lot of buildings you will see are being created, because पहले एक ही घर में 10 लोग रहते थे, right? earlier in one house 10 people used to live, then 4 people in one house, that log to kam nahi hue, you need more houses, right? So like 4 people in one house, so people wanted 2 houses. एक उनका घर, एक हमारा घर, right? So your children used to go out, or like 4 brothers, they used to live in different houses. तो सबको अपने अपने घर चाहिए. Now every kid wants to live in a separate city, has a different job, has a business or something they want to pursue their aspirations or dreams. They go out to a different city. Their parents live somewhere else, they live somewhere else, more houses. So real estate business क्या सोच रहा है? The trend is the families are being broken into smaller pieces. Everyone needs a house. तो भाई घर की जरूरत तो बढ़ेगी. Right? People will need more houses. So that is a trend that a business is looking for, right? Cool. Awesome. Crystal clear. New topic. We are on the new topic now. Okay. Now think about this. Sure. Nowadays, a trend of companies more than a partnership. Absolutely yes. Right. Now think about this. Look at this. Something that is going on your screen. Okay. Now think about this as a universe. Okay. Now think about you are standing on Earth. You're standing on Earth and within India, right? So if I talk about Earth as it is, right? So you are, let's say you are sitting in India. You are an Indian, okay? Or you're sitting in a particular country, okay? Now think about that country as a business, okay? Now think about India as a business, okay? Think about India as a business. So everything on Earth, every other country on Earth, your micro environment, right? Everything on Earth is your micro environment, right? Everything beyond Earth is your macro environment, right? Everything beyond Earth is your macro environment. The stars, the planet, the sun, the meteors, the black hole, everything is your macro environment. Everything on Earth is your micro environment. And you, India, is the business. And everything that is happening within India, India ki states, Indian politics, Indian people, Indian this, Indian, everything that is happening within India is called your internal environment. Okay, you are sitting in India. Let's say you are India, you are a business. Everything what is happening in India is internal environment. Everything that is happening on Earth, that is your micro environment. Everything that is happening in like stars, planets, other like or black holes, other industries, right? It is other industries. That is called macro environment. We are on Earth. We are like one industry. So let's say India is a business, and like India, there are different countries, right? All these countries together are like one industry. That is what we call as Earth, right? That is a micro environment. Micro matlab everything related to my industry, my planet. Mera planet hai. Everything on this is my micro environment. I am part of this micro environment. I am a business, let's say India. Everything beyond my industry, मेरी industry से अलग, Jupiter है, Saturn है, there are different industries, right? Those are called macro environment. Take another example. You are a business in, let's say, shoemaking business, right? You are into shoemaking business. Your business is your internal environment. अब आपके business के अंदर जो भी हो रहा है, that is internal environment. What is happening outside your business, but within your very close area, within your industry, that is micro environment. Whatever is happening outside your industry, कुछ भी change हो रहा है, right? Government है, geopolitical है, कुछ भी change हो रहा है, right? Technology change हो रही है, कुछ भी change हो रहा है, that is your macro environment, which is beyond your reach, which is beyond your industry, is your macro environment, right? And both your macro environment and micro environment are external, right? Internal तो हम खुद हैं, right? Internal तो हम खुद हैं. Business environment is divided into internal and external. Business environment, internal and external. Business environment is internal and external. Internal is covered at intermediate level, okay? Intermediate means you will study about all of this internal environment. we will focus at foundation level on micro and macro, right? Which is part of external environment, right? Internal environment is covered at intermediate level, right? SM, strategy. I think the video stopped for a few seconds. We are back. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see my screen? I am back. Just give me a heads up. Can you guys see my screen? Am I audible? I should be audible by now, right? And my screen also should be visible. We are back. We are back. Am I audible? Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Okay, I think there's some technical issue on my side. Just give me 1 second. Awesome. Now I'm audible and visible. So yes, internal environment. Internal environment is what we study at strategic management, your intermediate level. In this foundation level, we'll be focusing on micro and macro environment. Okay, we will be focusing on micro and macro environment. Cool. Sure. So this chapter is specifically talking about external environment. External mein we have micro and macro, and this is going to be covered. Your internal environment is going to be covered at intermediate level. Okay, cool. Now, how do you analyze your external environment? How do you analyze your external environment? Is through SWOT analysis. We call this as SWOT analysis. To analyze external environment, you have to do SWOT analysis, which is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Okay, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Okay, so using strength, your weakness, your opportunity, and threat. So what is happening here? Okay, what is happening here? Now think about this. Okay, thank you, I'm audible. Thanks for confirming that. Awesome. SWOT analysis, right? So SWOT analysis is understanding your strengths and converting your strengths into opportunities, right? Now exploring opportunities and using your strength to exploit the opportunity, right? And you identify your identifying your weakness, and and converting that also into an opportunity, right? Now, what does threat mean? Where does threat come from? Now, what is happening is in environment, when you do an environment analysis, right? When you do an environment analysis, you will understand कि यार वहाँ तो opportunity भी है और वहाँ पे threat भी है, right? There is a threat in the environment. There is also opportunity in the environment. What do? You use your strength to suppress the threat. You use your strength to minimize the threat and exploit the opportunity. And you also identify your weakness to safeguard yourself from the threat. Ki, let's say as a business, my strength is my marketing. Okay. As a business, my strength is my marketing. So I will exploit the opportunities which are there in marketing. की IPL में marketing करते हैं, चलो Shark Tank में marketing करते हैं, जाके करो. What is getting famous? YouTube पे if someone is very famous YouTuber, I will go and use my strength of marketing to exploit that opportunity. कि अच्छा, let me go and do marketing with them, right? Second is, what is weakness? Let's say my weakness is technology. I'm not very good at technology. So कुछ भी अगर technology से related change हो रहा है, I will have to decide कि boss, I will have to be very careful because I'm not very good at technology. So that creates a threat. If something is changing in the environment that is a threat for me, I will have to very quickly understand and safeguard myself because I understand मेरी कमजोरी, I understand my weakness, which is technology. So I have to understand, analyze the environment. Oh, if my competitor is bringing some new technology, boss, that is my weakness. I will have to be very careful. I have to take decisions by using my strength. By using my strength, I will have to. By using my strength, I will have to suppress or not let that threat become some overpowering on my business. Right? Okay. Is my video lagging? Is it so? Is it better? Is it better? I think my video should be fine now. It should be fine now, right? Arnav, Ankit, because I see the strength is full for my internet though. Awesome, awesome. Cool. So this is what SWOT analysis. इसके बारे में और पढ़ेंगे. We have another analysis, but let us quickly understand the components first. Okay. Now think about this. When I say SWOT analysis, what I say was we were analyzing more of external environment in terms of opportunities and threats, right? But SWOT analysis क्या करता है? The strength and weakness is basically understanding the internal environment, and opportunities and threats is basically helping you understand external environment, right? So if the question comes, SWOT analysis, is the SWOT analysis only for internal environment analysis or also for external environment analysis? SWOT analysis is for both, because strength and weakness to internal hai, right? Strength and weakness, so I can only understand internally, and opportunities and threats will come from outside, that is external environment, right? Strength and weakness, so internally I will know, opportunities and threats will come from external environment, and that is how I will get to know my external environment as well. So SWOT analysis is actually catering both the things, internal environment analysis as well as external environment analysis, right? It is actually helping you with both the things, right? Cool. There's a question on the screen. Very quickly answer this for me. There's a question on the screen. Very quickly, I want everyone to answer this, please. Very quickly answer this for me, guys. Okay, B, Airtel, what else? Very quickly, 10 more seconds. Quickly. Okay. AAB, Bharti Airtel. Absolutely, that is right, Varun. Strengths and weaknesses internal, opportunities and threats are external. That is right. The correct answer is also Bharti Airtel. The correct answer is also Bharti Airtel. The correct answer is Bharti Airtel. That is right. Okay. Now, two bifurcations of external environment, micro and macro, which is external environment. Micro plus, I've written spellings and all. I'll have to correct this. This is micro. Micro plus macro is your external environment. Okay. And we are going to study micro first, right? We will focus on micro environment first, all the components, what to analyze in all these components of micro, and then we will go on to understand how to understand your macro environment. Pehle micro padhenge, then we will understand macro also. Cool. Right. If there's an investment in Vedantu, then it's a threat for Byju's. Absolutely yes. Right. Let us first understand micro के components. So how do I understand these components? Okay, so हम पढ़ेंगे क्या? What is this syllabus telling me about micro environment? Okay, micro environment के components. For each of these components, what are we going to do? What are we going to do is, number one, we'll understand the component, and we'll understand for that component what should a business understand about that component, right? Micro environment is the environment which is very close to me, right? Micro environment is the environment which is very close to me. It is external to me. It is external to me, but मेरे बहुत ही पास है. These are the components which I interact with day in, day out. Micro environment components are external to the business, but the business interacts with them day in, day out. Regularly, day in, day out, उनसे interact करता है, right? That is what a micro environment is. Like customers, like organization as a whole, the market, intermediaries, competitors, suppliers, right? Customers, organization, market, intermediaries, competitors, and suppliers. Okay, these all are my micro environment. These all are my micro environment. Now a question will come into your mind. यार organization तो आपने बोला internal होता है. We are talking about external micro. Absolutely yes. When I come to this component and explain that. Okay, cool. And then we will also go for macro environment. ये वाला chart, I'll come back to this chart when we do macro environment. Okay. Now micro environment and macro environment. Before I start micro, understand this. Immediate peripheral of the organization, which affects a firm on a daily basis. Like I was explaining to you, the business interacts with them on a daily basis, right? Rose customer say, they're talking to organization, intermediary say, competitor say, supplier say, day in, day out. They're talking, they're having a conversation, they are connected with all these components on a daily basis, right? Macro में, it is common for all the firms. It is common for all the firms. These are beyond their control. Macro environment is common for all the firms, and it is beyond their control. Right? One can only act and react to them. But not change macro elements, right? Macro environment is external, extremely external, जो कि common for everyone, which is common. Like आपका डेमोग्राफिक, पॉलिटिकल, अभी गवर्नमेंट चेंज हुई कंट्री में, इट इज कॉमन फॉर ऑल दी कंपनीज, इट इज नॉट स्पेसिफिक टू अ सर्टेन बिजनेस, इट इज कॉमन फॉर एवरीवन, राइट? पॉलिटिकल चेंज हो रहा है, गवर्नमेंट चेंज हो रहा है, कुछ लीगल, जीएसटी चेंज हो रहा है, इनकम टैक्स का रूल चेंज हो रहा है, टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज, सोशल थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग, सोशल कल्चर्स आर चेंजिंग, इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन ऑफ द कंट्री, अभी जीडीपी नीचे जा रही है, इट इज गोइंग डाउन फॉर एवरी बिजनेस। ऐसा थोड़ी ना है कि ऑटोमोटिव के लिए जीडीपी बढ़ रही है और एफएमसीजी के लिए जीडीपी गिर रही है। जीडीपी इज फॉलिंग, इंटरेस्ट रेट इज फॉलिंग फॉर एवरीवन, right? It is common for all the businesses, it is common for all the businesses, and it is beyond the control of the business, right? And it is beyond the control of the business, it is called macro environment. Micro वहीं पे क्या है, you can influence this environment, मार्केट से चेंज कर सकते हो, कंपेटिटर से लड़ सकते हो, यू कैन चेंज योर कॉम्पिटिशन, यू कैन किल योर कॉम्पिटिशन, यू कैन चेंज योर सप्लायर्स, यू कैन चेंज योर कस्टमर्स, राइट? ये सबके लिए कॉमन नहीं है। Customers of Tata Motors is different from customers of Reliance Jio. Customers of Byju's are different from customers of Uber, right? So different customers, different customers. That is micro environment. It is specific to your business. Macro is common for all the businesses. Macro environment, macro external environment is common for all the businesses, right? Okay. Number one component in micro environment, that is customers. Okay. Any question though? Any question? If you have any doubt, or do we go straight forward into components? Any questions, or we can go straight forward to the components? Micro environment is like Nike to Adidas, Jio to Airtel. Absolutely, yes. Wonderful example. Can we straightforward go into components, please? Awesome, awesome. We'll go to that. We'll come to all of those things. Just wait. FMCG is your fast moving consumer goods, Patanjali, HUL, right? All these things are FMCG companies. Micro fights at the same level, macro fights at higher level. Absolutely, yes, yes, that is true. Cool. Let's go on to understand the first component of micro environment, that is customers. That is customers, right? The aim of a business is to create and retain customers. Okay. The aim of the business is to create and retain customers. Customers are those who pay for your business products. Customer kaun hai? Customer is the person who is paying for your products. Product can be anything like goods, your ghee, phone, bed sheet, or it can be services like dry cleaning, parlor, car wash, etc., etc., etc. Right? The people who are paying for your goods and services are your customers, right? Goods like ghee, phone, bed sheet, or services like dry cleaning, parlor, car wash, etc., etc., etc. So these are the people who are paying to buy your goods and services. They are called customers, right? Okay. Now, is there a difference between a customer and a consumer? Is there a difference between a customer and a consumer? Answer this question for me. Is there a difference for a customer and between a customer and a consumer? Is SWOT really helping? Absolutely. Why not? If you understand what you're good at, if you understand what you're weak at, and you identify what can be done better, what are the opportunities, what is something that is going to be a threat to you, that is always a good thing, right? Profit is important for business, but survival is more important. Absolutely yes. So jab tak hai jaan, right? Even if you make less money, if you're alive as a business, that's okay. But if you're not alive as a business, even you're not making any money. Making some money is better making than not making any money, right? Answer this question very quickly. Are they different? Is there a difference between a customer and a consumer? Is there a difference? Yes, 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 yes. Consumer is a person who consumes good, but customer is a person who purchases goods, right? Okay. Not the consumer, and consumer need to be customer. For example, father purchases laptop for daughter, right? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. The answer is yes. Consumer is not the one who finally consumes, is the one who finally consumes or utilizes, while customer may or may not be the consumer, right? The customer may or may not be the consumer, but a customer is the one who buys it, right? A customer is the person who buys the good. A consumer is the one who actually consumes that good. Okay. For example, a father buying a book for her daughter, a father buying a laptop for her daughter or for kids, right? Customer is the father, but the consumer is the daughter. Customer is the father, but the consumer is the daughter. And the business and the business and the business, the marketer, the business should focus on the preferences of the ultimate consumer, राइट अभी बिजनेस को कंज्यूमर पे फोकस रखना चाहिए राइट दे हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द कंज्यूमर what does the consumer, the person who is finally consuming that good or service, what kind of good or service they want, what kind of good or service they want. The business has to understand the consumer more, right? Business should be able to analyze who are the consumers, what are their preferences, उनको चाहिए क्या good and service से, and what are their buying patterns, right? What are their buying patterns, what are their preferences, and who are the consumers. They should be able to analyze this. They should be able to analyze this, right? For example, you purchased a gift for your friend. Priyanka says so. Absolutely yes. You are the customer, the consumer is your friend, right? Customer is the one who purchases, consumer one who consumes. Absolutely yes. Consumer is the one who purchases goods for consumption purpose. Absolutely. That is right. That is right. What else? Consumer consume, customer may not be the consumer. Absolutely yes. Customer is the person who purchases goods and services. He or she can use the product. Consumer preference is more important always. Always consumer. If someone buys fish for him or herself, then customer and consumer are the same. Absolutely yes, Arnav. If someone is buying food for themselves, they are the customer and they are the consumer, right? So that is why the business has to identify ki bhaiya, who is my consumer. It is the business's job to understand ki who is my consumer. Are people buying this for themselves or people buying this for someone else, right? Who is the consumer? कौन consume करता है मेरे goods and services? That is what you have to identify. Now think from a perspective of, let's say, like ITC. ITC is making cigarettes. Okay, abhi the ITC consumer is everyone who is buying cigarette is buying for themselves. Okay, or the consumer, they know school going children are not my consumer, right? 7th 8th के बच्चे तो मेरे consumer नहीं है, right? They know this. People who are suffering from any disease or people who are not well physically, ideally doctors उनको क्या बोलते हैं? Do not consume, do not smoke, right? So they know they are not the consumer. अच्छा, सिगरेट क्या है? पीपल ट्रैवलिंग इन एरोप्लेन्स, अभी दे नो आई कैन नॉट सेल सिगरेट इन एरोप्लेन, राइट? सो पीपल हु आर ट्रैवलिंग इन एरोप्लेन, आई कैन नॉट लाइक कि ऐसा नहीं हो सकता सिगरेट आईटीसी सेज कि अरे ट्रे में एरोप्लेन में सिगरेट बेचने आ रहे, ऐसा नहीं होगा. So they understand who is the consumer, who is going to consume my product. You have to understand what are their preferences, what are their buying patterns. रोज खरीदते हैं, do they buy this product daily, do they buy this product weekly, do they buy this product monthly, एक बार में बहुत सारा लेते हैं या सिंगल सिंगल पीसेस लेते हैं. What are their buying patterns? What are their buying patterns? The business has to understand that as well, right? Okay. Number two, competitor. Number two is competitor. Competitor तो हमको पता ही है. Business should be able to analyze who are my competitors, what are their objectives and strategies, and who are the most aggressive and powerful competitors. पहले तो identify कि मेरा competition कौन कौन है. Then understand कि उनकी क्या techniques हैं, what are their business strategy, वो कैसा दिमाग लगा रहे हैं, वो क्या चीज अच्छी कर रहे हैं. Who are the most aggressive and powerful competitors, right? You identify who are the competitors, and then you identify who are the most aggressive and powerful competitors. Who are the most aggressive and powerful competitors, right? What are their objectives and what are their strategies? Who are the most aggressive out of those? Who are the most powerful competitors out of those? Who are my competitors? You have to understand all of this as a business when you're understanding your micro external environment within which you're understanding competitor. भाई समझो आपका competitor कौन है, उसकी objectives, what are their strategies, and who are the most aggressive and powerful competitors, right? Okay. Competition can be direct as well as indirect. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? Question on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, right? Question on the screen, what we are studying is direct and indirect. Identify which is a direct, identify which is an indirect competition out of these. Direct competition कौन सा है, indirect competition कौन सा है? Identify. Tell me. Read the question quickly and tell me which one is a direct competition, which one is an indirect competition. Very quickly. Apple versus MI, Jio versus Airtel, Tide versus Surf Excel. Okay. Sure, Ankit. Another CAs are your competitors. Always will be, right? A is direct, B is indirect, is what Varna says, what Tenzin says, what Dhanesh says. Arnav also says so. Arnav says A is indirect, B is direct. Okay. Cool. What about others? Okay. Let us understand if it is the right answer. A is direct competition, B is indirect competition, right? Direct competition means same product, same target market. Direct means same product, same target market. same target market. Okay, same product, same target market is direct. Competition in biscuits, where customers have plethora, that means a lot of options to buy from, with almost same packing, same advertisement, each one wanting to increase their share in the market, is a direct competition. Same product है, same market है, same logo को बेचना है, it is the same product, it is to be sold to the same set of people, right? Number two is indirect competition, not the same product, but the same market, right? Not the same product, but the customer is same, like pizza shop and burger shop, right? Who can attract the fast food hungry customer. The product is not the same, but the target customer is the same. That is indirect competition. When the product is same, the target customer is also same, it is direct competition, right? Direct competition, same product, same target market, not the same product, but the same customer को बेचना है. That is indirect competition. That is indirect competition, right? Okay. Organization, right? Organization. Now, organization as a whole also forms part of the micro external environment. I'll tell you why. What we are talking about here is people, the external people who are representing the organization, right? People who are representing the organization in the external environment form organization. Okay, people who are representing your business to the external people, they form part of your organization component of micro external environment, like the owners, like founders, shareholders, individuals of firms having major stake in your business. जिन लोगों ने पैसा लगाया हुआ आपके बिजनेस में, they are also external. They are very close to your business, but उन्होंने पैसा लगाया. Think about this. Shareholder, right? Shareholder, think about from a perspective of shareholder है. He or she does not know how the business is operating, क्या काम करना है, क्या decision लेना है. But you will have to take care of the shareholder as well. You will have to understand what does the shareholder want, right? They want income, they want more money, more value addition to the shareholder, right? So you have to understand the shareholder as well, right? The organization, it's external, it's very close to you, but they are not part of the organization, right? Like shareholders, like individuals who have major stake in the business, even founders. Founder क्या करता है? एक CEO रख देता है, right? If there's a company like a founder, they keep a CEO, a CFO, they let them take decisions, they pay salaries in crores to them to take decisions, and they sit outside the organization and see, अच्छा सब कुछ ठीक हो रहा है या नहीं. Okay, so they become micro external environment. Board of directors. Similarly, board of directors like independent directors or board of directors, part of government people who become board of directors, they are external to see, they are taking decisions, they're understanding the business, they're ensuring the business is in the right way. But at the end of the day, they're looking at the overall organization ke top pe baith ke, right? They're sitting at the top of the organization and understanding, right? What about employees? People who actually work on the decision taken by board of directors and management. It is important that the employees embrace and uplift the value system of the business. Now, when I talk about the organization, when I talk about employees are coming from an external place to the company, and then I have to build them into the organization. The job of the organization is people from different places, people from different other companies, your competitors or different industries, indirect competition, direct competition. So people are coming into your business, right? You have to take care of that. You have to understand their preferences. You have to influence them so that they work towards your organizational goal, right? So these people coming from outside, your employees, also are basically from an organization perspective. Organization के perspective से देखोगे तो they are coming from the external environment, right? And that is why, but they are very close to the business. They are very close to the business. So think about from a business perspective. आप एक business हो, people are coming from outside, joining you and you have to teach them. You have to tell them what my business does, and you have to influence them so that they add value to your business, right? That is why owners, boards of directors, shareholders, stakeholders, people who have invested money in your business, the employees from outside, these are part of your micro external environment in terms of organization. इन सबको club करके एक component बना दिया organization, right? And that is why it is so important to understand this component from a micro environment perspective as well, right? Cool. Any questions so far? We have to share profits with the shareholders. Absolutely. कंपनी के इंटरनल कौन होंगे? कंपनी के इंटरनल बहुत सारे लोग होंगे, राइट? बहुत सारे लोग होंगे, बट उनका कंपोनेंट्स, द डिवीजन ऑफ कंपोनेंट्स इज डिफरेंट, राइट? लाइक वैल्यू सिस्टम, कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर, राइट? यहाँ पे देखो इंटरनल में, quickly to understand how will the internal environment be different, look at the value system. Missions and objectives is your component for internal environment analysis. Organization का structure, corporate culture, quality of human resources, labor unions, physical resources and technology capabilities, right? These all are part of your internal environment. Employees बाहर से आ रहे हैं, we keep them into micro external environment. But कंपनी की इनहेरेंट चीजें जैसे वैल्यू सिस्टम, योर प्रिंसिपल्स, योर मिशंस एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रक्चर, corporate culture, quality of human resource, labor union. Now think about from a perspective. When you get married, okay? When you get married, you go into a different family, right? Either the boy or the girl, either way, right? And both of the people are introduced to a new family. Essentially, you are external to that family, right? Essentially, you are still external. How does that family work? How does that family think? What is the principle of that family? What are the kind of people? What are the quality of human people in that company, in that family? What is the organizational structure? What is that family structure of that new family you are introduced into? You're part of that family, but you have to go into that place. You have to build up your environment accordingly. That family will influence you to change, to come into their ways of living, right? Similarly for a business. Why employee is more like a micro external environment. Practical है, right? This is a practical, logical thing. Business को क्या? Business को profit कमाना है, being sustainable, being good to the environment, being good to the people around while making profit, right? So practical things से देखें, so they have to train those external people, right? While internal is more like value system, missions हो गया, labor union, corporate culture, organization का structure कैसा है, ऊपर लीडर कौन है, नीचे कितने लोग हैं, उसके नीचे कितने लोग हैं. That is what an internal environment is, right? Cool. Let us go on to understand market, right? Let us go on to understand market. Any questions on your organization per se? Founders can also be CEO of the company. Yes, they can be. Embrace means to accept and like get mixed into it. Embrace it, right? Be a part of it. After the classes are concluded, you can send your questions to virtualclasses@ici.org, right? You can get those answers there. Probably if you have any answers, यहाँ पे ही पूछ के खत्म करो, right? Board of directors are technically employees. Not necessarily. Board of directors are not essentially the employees. They are board of directors. वो director है. Technically, if you want to speak, yes, they are employees. But think from a perspective of a business, not from a legal perspective. Think from a business perspective, right? अभी think from a legal perspective. GST is a mandatory thing, right? GST तो आपके लिए बहुत legal. If I think from a legal perspective, GST is a mandatory compliance. For a business, it's an expense. Business के लिए तो वो खर्चा है, right? I have to keep people to maintain my books as per GST. That's an expense for me. But from a legal perspective, that is how compliance is. That is how you function. That is what the government wants you to do, right? So different aspects for the same thing. Founder can also be CEO. Yes, it can be me. They can be. No restriction on that. Cool. Okay. Let us talk about markets. Let's talk about markets. Market is equal to large group of consumers. Market is equal to large group of consumers. Market is basically everyone who is your consumer is your market. Everyone who is or can be your consumer is your market. Everyone who is or can be your consumer is called a market. Everyone who is or can be your consumer is called your market. Actual size of the market, right? A business should analyze what? A business should analyze what? Okay. A business should analyze the actual size of the market. The actual size of the market. Actual size matlab, let's say there are 7.5 billion people on earth and 72% people need toothpaste daily. Okay. अभी जितने लोग होंगे धरती पे, earth पे, everyone will need toothpaste. And let's say 72% people of the on earth need toothpaste. बाकी लोग कोई दातुन करते हैं. People are living in let's say a small, very remote villages, somewhere in Africa, somewhere even in India, very remote villages, जहाँ toothpaste का concept नहीं है. People are using salt and oil. Right? They can be using that as well, right? Let's say 72% people on earth will need toothpaste daily. And you are the toothpaste manufacturing company. You are a toothpaste manufacturing company. So actual size of the market kya hai? Actual size of the market is 7.5 billion people into 72%, right? Which is roughly around 5 billion people, right? Roughly around 5 billion people is your actual market size. All of these people can be your consumers. These can be. Abhi nahi hai. हो तो सकते हैं, बेच तो सकते हैं इन सबको, because all of these people need toothpaste. So this is your actual size of the market. Potential size of the market. Growth potential is another 28%. So potential size क्या है? अभी 7.5 में 72% people cover है. What if I spread awareness? What if I do marketing? What if I cover these 28% people also? Social NGOs के साथ मिलके, if I go and tell people नहीं toothpaste करना होता है, गांव में जाके, if we go and tell people नहीं toothpaste करना जरूरी है, it is good for hygiene, it is good for health, it is good for your teeth, right? Marketing करके NGOs के साथ जाके, I increase this to another 28%. 100% people को toothpaste बेच दी. So अभी 72 है, potential size is another 28%. Another 28% people is my potential market, right? अभी potential है 72% को ही अभी हम toothpaste बेच सकते हैं. Now there is a potential, there is availability of another 28% people to whom we can cover as our consumer. Okay. Attractiveness of the market देखेगा business. Attractiveness मतलब इसमें profit कितना बनता है, right? इस market में how much profit can I make? So as a toothpaste industry you will identify अच्छा 30% margin है. So all my competitors, you do an analysis, you do an internal calculation and you identify कि boss 30% margin तो आदमी बना लेता है. इस industry में 30% margin बन जाता है, right? So that is your attractiveness of the market. कि कितना margin बन जाता है. 30% बनता है, 40 बनता है, 5% बनता है, 2% बनता है. What is the attractiveness of the market, right? Cost structure. Cost structure. What is cost structure? Cost structure is also very simple. Cost structure का भी simple concept है, right? Capital intensive or not? बहुत सारी investment लगती है क्या? In this kind of market, to tap this market, to reach to so many people, to reach to the potential people, to reach to the actual size of the market, to get that profit margin, बहुत सारा पैसा लगता है या थोड़े पैसे में ही अच्छा पैसा बन जाता है, right? Do I have to be very capital intensive or not? Whether this thing requires a lot of capital or it doesn't require so much capital, थोड़े से पैसे में भी काम हो जाता है. You also would want to analyze existing distribution system. कितना जंजाल फैला हुआ है. How far and wide the products are being sold currently. Existing distribution क्या है, right? Existing distribution क्या है? Like for example, Lay's है. Lay's is in every shop. But if I say Like if you have to do a distribution of, let's say, health drinks, हर दुकान पे health drink नहीं मिलती है, right? हर दुकान पे पनीर नहीं मिलता. If you want to sell cheese, not every shop has cheese. Some premium shops will only have your mozzarella cheese or parmesan cheese. You want cheese for your pizza, right? आपको पिज्जा बनाना है घर पे and you want cheese for that. Or you are doing baking, you bake cake. Cake के लिए you need baking powder, some utensils, special utensils, you need oven. हर दुकान पे तो नहीं मिलता है, हर जगह तो नहीं मिलता है. There's certain shops you know कि अच्छा जहाँ पे ये चीज मिल जाएगी. So the existing distribution system you have to understand कि भाई for this market what kind of a distribution system exists. क्या मुझे मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी या ऑलरेडी दुकानें बनी हुई हैं, मेरे को बस जाके अपना सामान रखना है. Whether I have to just go and put my product on the shelves or do I have to create a network. I will have to convince the shopkeeper कि नहीं, you start keeping this product, right? So you have to understand that as well, and that forms part of your market component of micro external environment. Cool. Okay. What else? There's a question. Profit margin means profit earned by the business. Yes. Profit percentage. Okay. Potential. Once potential means kitni taakat hai. What is your potential? So if I can lift 20 kgs, right? I can lift 20 kgs of your dumbbells, but my potential is मैं 40 किलो का भी उठा सकता हूँ. My potential मेरे में कितनी ताकत है. मार्केट में कितनी और ताकत है. How much more potential does the market have, right? 28% more, 72% people use करते हैं, 28% और को I can sell this stuff. There is more potential in the market, right? Cool. Maggie has a very good distribution system, which can find Maggie in the remotest area, right? पहाड़ों में जाके तो लोग मैगी खाते हैं. सोचो, और द एंटायर हिमाचल उत्तराखंड में हर शॉप में यू विल गेट मैगी. क्या डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम, राइट? You go to Khandala, you go to Goa, you go to Kerala, you go to Kochi, you go to Andhra Pradesh, you go to Telangana, wherever you go in India, you go to Northeast, Sikkim jao, right? You go to Dispur, you go to Nagaland, Maggie to har jagah milegi, right? That is your distribution system. Let's talk about suppliers. Let's quickly talk about suppliers. Okay, so what are suppliers? Supplier कौन है? We know. Okay, you tell me who is a supplier. I will not explain this. You tell me who is a supplier. What is a supplier? Supplier कौन होता है? Capital intensive means will it require a lot of money to do this business or not? Capital intensive. How much money does this business want me to invest? Okay, how much investment is required for this business? You guys tell me, what is a supplier? Supplier कौन होता है? Market maturity. Okay, so how mature is the market? Right? Is it an old market, existing market, या बहुत नई market है? Like electric vehicles is a new market, while petrol vehicles is a mature market, right? Absolutely. Potential means how much more customers you can attract. Right, Sameer? आपकी उत्तराखंड वाली मैगी is famous with your tomato, onions and peas. अब वो तो सिर्फ ad में होता है. I've never made a Maggie with vegetables. वो सिर्फ ad में ही दिखाते हैं. Sure, supplier is who supply raw material, wholesaler, retailer, right? Manufacturer, supplier who supplies goods and services, जिसको आप goods बेचते हो, right? जिसको आप goods बेचते हो is what is a supplier, नहीं जो आपको goods बेचता है. What else? What else? Who is a supplier? One who provides raw materials and other output services. Supplier is a person who buys the manufacturer to wholesaler. Okay, sure. The current scenario, current geopolitical scenario will affect the entire world. That is right. So, micro external environment, absolutely. All the micro external environments can also influence the business. That is right. Supply is the person who provides goods to the customer. Okay, what else? Creditors are suppliers who supply goods to a supplier is the person who is providing raw material, equipment, and service. Absolutely right. That is we have taken from here. Okay. They provide raw material, equipment, and service. Supply. Aapko raw material, people who are giving you the raw material are your suppliers. Large companies can have hundreds of suppliers, right? The importance of the material they supply can affect their bargaining power of the business. Let's say how important that particular product is for you, the supplier can influence you more on that. For example, for a business, let's say for a company which is making almiras, okay, a company is making wooden almiras. For that company, the supplier of wood, the person who is supplying raw wood to that company which is making wooden almiras, उसके बिना तो उनका काम चलेगा ही नहीं, right? So that supplier also knows, अगर मैं इनको लकड़ी नहीं दूंगा, if I'm not going to supply wood to them, they cannot do business. And they will start influencing their business. They'll say, अच्छा ठीक है, 1,000 rupees नहीं, I will give you this at 1,100. I will give you this at 1,100 rupees, right? And why will that happen? Why will that happen? Because they know that this particular thing is very, very important. This particular thing is very, very important for your business. It is super duper important for your business, right? And that is why they will influence. They will put pressure on you. They will put pressure on your business, right? That is how it happens because it is very important for you. And a business needs to decide whether to outsource or produce in-house. Abhi, a business has to ensure, a business has to decide whether to outsource or to produce in-house. क्या बाहर से लें, क्या ये goods and services हम बाहर से लें या इनको in-house बनाएं? Whether I take these from outside or do I make these within the company? Whether I outsource or do I do an in-house thing? Right? Business needs to decide whether to outsource or to produce in-house. बाहर से करवाऊं या खुद बनाऊं? बाहर से करवाऊं ये सारी चीजें या in-house I do that, right? Whether I do that, everything I do an outsource thing or I produce in-house thing, right? Either what I can do is या तो बाहर से किसी से सप्लाई करवा लूंगा. अगर supplier is acting as a very बहुत attitude दिखा रहे हैं, the supplier is saying नहीं we'll charge so much money, what I'll do is I'll like boss कोई बात नहीं, I'll do that inside. I will do that within the company. I will take care of it. I will create that raw material within the company itself. I will do that in-house. That is what this means, right? Whether to do in-house or to get it outsourced, right? Do we understand this? Do we understand supplier ka in-house and outsource ka concept, right? Outsource is getting it done from the outside or in-house is doing it myself, right? Outsource means bahar se karwana. In-house means doing it myself is called in-house. Doing it myself is called in-house. How does a supplier earn? Supplier is also a business, right? They are earning money by selling stuff to you. No, not partly. Anyone who is providing raw material to you or any product to you is your supplier. Any product that you are using for your goods and services, it is being provided by someone. That someone is called a supplier. That someone is called a supplier, right? Cool. I think when you look at this Parle G ka packet, okay, if you have at home any product, if you have at your home, you will see it is always written marketed by, manufactured by. And even though it is being branded as Parle G, right? Britannia bol raha hai, Parle G bol raha, and selling it as a Parle G, right? But you will see there are so many suppliers. Shashi Foods Private Limited, Helveti Industries Private Limited, Coel Food Processes Private Limited, right? HCF Food Private Limited. All these are suppliers. Every packet के पीछे you will see they have written suppliers का नाम. Everyone you will see her packet. Pick up anything that you have at your house to eat per se, especially edibles के पीछे. You will see they have always written manufactured by, and you will have names of all these suppliers, right? All these supplies, and this is outsourced, right? इसीलिए लिखा होता है because all of this thing is outsourced. कोई और इनको बना के दे रहा है. So these biscuits are made by someone else. Parle G सिर्फ उनको पैक करके बेच रहा है, right? So all these packets will have the outsourced suppliers का नाम. Go and check this out. You will see this, right? In majority of things, this happens, right? Are suppliers same as producers? More so, yes. In cars also, car manufacturing, tires कहीं और से आते हैं, steering wheels कहीं और से आते हैं. So all these are just suppliers for an automotive industry, right? This is my favorite biscuit. Parle G is my favorite biscuit because everyone eats Parle G. सबको पता है Parle G क्या है, right? So Parle G तो world famous biscuit है. Cool. Any questions on this? Or we can move on to intermediaries. Right? What is intermediary? Intermediary बहुत आसान है. Sometimes consumers do not know the manufacturer of a product or service, right? But they only rely on departmental source credibility or a big retailer's position, right? So see what is happening. See what is happening is बहुत simple. Sometimes the consumers do not know the manufacturer of the product or service, but only rely on departmental stores' credibility, right? Now think about this. All these brands, what they do. If you have ever been to Big Bazaar, right? कभी Big Bazaar गए हो, Reliance Fresh, right? Big Bazaar हो गया, Reliance Fresh हो गया, Pantaloons in your malls, you have these Pantaloons West Side, right? Pantaloons है, West Side है. What are these? All these are intermediaries. All these are intermediaries. So what they say is, आप अपना सामान लाके हमारे पास रख दो. Bring all your products to all the 700, 800 brands. They say you bring all your goods and keep it in our shops, keep it in our big shops. And because people connect with our brand, people connect with Big Bazaar, people connect with Pantaloons, people connect with Reliance, they will come and buy this product from our shop, right? And we will take a commission from you. We will take a commission from you. And this is what intermediaries is all about. This is what intermediaries do, right? Sometimes consumers do not know the manufacturer of the product or service, but they rely on the departmental store's credibility or a big retailer's position. And that is what it means, right? And that is exactly what basically, right? That is what exactly this basically means. That आपका big intermediaries, big firms are taking up and telling brands to come up on board, to come up and keep their product, and we will sell because people relate to our brand. and that is why they become intermediary मतलब between the consumer and the company, ये intermediary बीच के लोग हैं. These are the agents, these are the middle men, these are the middle agents who are joining the customer and the business together, because customer knows this intermediary more than the brand, right? Customer knows this intermediary more than the brand, so brand also keeps with the intermediary. Customer comes to the intermediary, buys the product and goes home. They charge a commission and give back the money to the brand or the product, right? It's a Flipkart. Abhi Flipkart is an intermediary. Amazon is an online intermediary, right? आपका बिग बाजार पैंटलून तो हो गया. Now even Flipkart and Amazon are more like intermediaries, right? Your Amazon, Flipkart, these are also like intermediaries. What are they doing? Different companies, different brands, all of these are coming and putting their, all these people, small sellers. Ab Meesho aa raha hai, right? Meesho is an online intermediary. So because people trust these people, so they come and buy. Easy ho jata hai. Even for the customer, it is easy because they get to see a lot many brands, right? And this is what an intermediary is. This is a component in your micro external environment for a business. They have to identify कि अच्छा यहाँ से भी हम काम कर सकते हैं. We can take advantage of the branding of Amazon. We can take the advantage of the branding of Flipkart. We can take advantage of the branding of Meesho, right? We can do that. And that is what an intermediary does for a business. That is what an intermediary does for a business, right? Absolutely. Meesho, Flipkart are also examples of intermediaries, online intermediaries, right? Like pantaloons. I was giving you the example of pantaloons, right? What does pantaloons do? Pantaloons क्या करता है? कुछ नहीं करता pantaloons. Pantaloons simple है. Stores में कहते हैं, बाकी सारे brands को कहते हैं, come and keep your clothes in our showrooms and then we sell it, right? So here Pantaloons is an intermediary for multiple companies producing clothes and very crucial part of their microenvironment. Pantaloons is an intermediary and it is very important for all the people who are putting their products in Pantaloons. Similarly, Flipkart is a very important aspect. Flipkart कुछ भी change करता है, Flipkart कोई policy change करता है, Flipkart is changing their pricing structure, it is going to affect all the people who are selling on Flipkart, right? So it is very important to understand, analyze the micro external environment, उसके अंदर intermediaries. In recent days तो बहुत ज़्यादा, right? Meesho, Flipkart, Amazon, people have to understand how they work, what is their pricing, कितना खर्चा आएगा, क्या रखें, how do we promote that, do we spend on advertisement on these sites, how do we plan our strategy of the business, a lot of things they have to do, right? Right, services intermediary like Amazon, Meesho से goods मिलते हैं, right? Services में intermediaries होते हैं. Absolutely, services also. India Mart है या आपका services में GoDaddy है, that is also intermediary. किसी के पास domain है, they sell that domain to you. Swiggy and Zomato are also intermediaries. Absolutely. Swiggy and Zomato are also intermediaries, right? गूगल पे पे आप पे कर सकते हैं बिजली का बिल, मोबाइल का रिचार्ज. इंटरमीडियरी, गूगल पे इज एन इंटरमीडियरी. वंडरफुल, बहुत सही जा रहे हो. नाउ यू अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इंटरमीडियरी, राइट? व्हाट इज एन इंटरमीडियरी, करता क्या है, काम क्या है, व्हाई इज इट सो इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर ए माइक्रो एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट? इंटरमीडियरी का होना इतना इम्पोर्टेंट क्यों है भैया? यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस नाउ, राइट? Cool. Any questions? Intermediaries are same like agents, more so yes. Cool. Mintra also, Urban Clap also. Urban Clap is more like intermediary of services, right? That is right. That is right. Question on your screen, boys and girls. Quickly answer this for me. Question is on your screen. Very simple. अभी समझ आ जाएगा, अभी समझ आ जाएगा कि कॉन्सेप्ट पकड़ में आया या नहीं. The answers I have are C, 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 economy, 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 economy. That is right. You guys are right. Economy is the correct answer. Baki sab are part of your micro environment. All of these are part of your micro environment. Sirf economy is not part of your micro environment. Okay. Let us quickly summarize what we have studied up to that. Micro complete ho gaya hai. I will take up macro from the next session, right? We have ample time. Chapter 6 बहुत छोटा है. Chapter 6 is more like a vocabulary. वो तो we'll do in 30-40 minutes only. I think vocabulary ka only I'll take up the difficult ones, right? So chapter 6 ka we'll have less. But okay. Right now, let us quickly summarize what we have studied up. What is business environment? Forces within and outside the control that shape the decisions of the business. That is your business environment, right? Okay. It's a relationship. Its relationship with the businesses. It is vast. It is multifaceted, wide, and dynamic, right? It's vast, multifaceted, dynamic, ever changing, right? It's ever changing. It's wide. It's vast, multifaceted, right? It has far reaching impact. That is what it means. Wide means it has a far reaching impact. How it influences business strategies, it confines business decisions and needs constant review, right? Information, data, what do we need? What do we need? You need information to make decisions. You need data which is meaningful to you. It converts into information. Information is then used to take strategic decisions in the business. You influence the business. The business influences the environment through information, right? Okay. Environmental responses. What we will do is we'll do this in the next one. What we have, how do you identify them? How do you identify is environment scanning, events and trends, issues, expectations, right? We did environment scanning. We did environment scanning where we talked about events, trends, issues, and expectations, right? We talked about events, trends, issues, and expectations. Ki bhai, environment scanning mein, we go on to understand what are the issues, what are the events, what is the trend, pattern kya ho raha hai, what are the issues and what are the expectations, right? You understand this? Or should I go back to that slide, right? Events, trends, your issues and expectations. Then we also understood the SWOT analysis part. Jahan pe SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Strength and weakness is internal analysis. Opportunity and threat is external analysis, right? SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Strength, weakness, internal. Opportunity and threat is external, right? Two types, internal and external. That is what we studied, the types of environment, internal and external. External was further divided into micro and macro. Micro ke andar we studied all the components which were customers, competitors, organization, market, suppliers, and intermediaries, right? Any questions so far? Any doubts so far, right? Any questions, any doubts? We are already at 12:55. So what we'll do is we will take up macro in the next session very quickly. वो भी छोटा सा मजेदार है, very fun, very fun. All the components are very interesting in macro environment. We'll take up that as well. But any questions so far in this chapter though, right? Any questions so far in this chapter? Any doubts that you have? Let us take that up quickly. Chapter 3 is also very amazing, right? All the organizations and everything, right? All clear, all clear. Wonderful, Ganesh. Wonderful, Vidhi. Ankit, thanks so much. Ayushi. But any questions? Acha, someone had a question beyond syllabus. Please ask that as well if you are still there. Right? Any doubts, any questions that you're facing, ask that out. We'll spend 2-3 minutes on that. Right? We have 2-3 minutes. We will spend on that. Any doubts and questions that anyone has from syllabus, outside syllabus, clarifications, anything that you want me to explain again, in short, let me know. Is organization of other industry part of micro environment? Competition, right? Organization of other industries or macro, right? Ideally उसको macro में डाल देते हैं. I'll check that. Two things I have to check with technical. एक तो notes download नहीं हो रहे. I'll get that corrected. Second, my name in the feedback form. I will also write for that. Network marketing. I have never been interested in that. I don't have much knowledge on that, right? Honestly, Hemang, I've never been interested and I've never even considered that for myself. So I'm not very sure on network marketing. Right? I've heard about it, but I've never wanted to read anything more on that because it was not my interest. So I did not read about that as well. Probably that helps. Can competitors include होंगे क्या customers में? Competitors कैसे include होंगे customers? Competitor तो एक अलग ही component है, right? समझिए. Your competitors are a different component from customers altogether. In okay, so when you try to download, it's showing that unable to launch the event. I will have to check with technical. I uploaded it from my end. एक बार ये check with technical and come back. Can we say either the micro or the macro environment has greater influence on business? Micro has more influence always, okay? Because it is very close and it is very personal to the business, right? Aapke customers, aapke competitors, they have more power to influence you. Macro, it is common for everyone in the country, right? Or everyone in the world also. Abhi Ukraine Russia की fight is happening for everyone. कोई भी business हो पूरी दुनिया में सबको affect कर, right? It is not like only affecting a certain set of business. Why do most people get less marks in paper 4 even if it just has MCQs and theory based? Because people don't understand the concept is what my understanding is. My experience says you guys always focus on ki rattling. These subjects in MCQs they cannot ratify. You will have to understand, you will have to read the question बहुत carefully, right? And that is where you lose marks. You do not read the question carefully. Question शुरू कहीं होता है, question ends at somewhere else. आप question को शुरू में ही पढ़ के you understand अच्छा यही answer होगा and you go and take that MCQ. The question changes in the second sentence, and that is where you lose marks. HUF members can work or partner with firms or companies at the same time while he's a member? Absolutely yes. Why not? You can have multiple businesses, right? You can have multiple businesses. HUF is also one of your business, right? So you can have multiple businesses. Oh, notes download ho gaye. Wonderful. Is there a certificate foundation course? I don't know, Tenzin. I've never seen anyone getting a certificate for foundation course. You will have a passing certificate per se, but ऐसे you will not have a certificate ki congratulations foundation हो गया. But you do get a passing certificate per se, or mark sheet, right? उसी वही है. What do you want me to? Acha, Samir, I've explained that, right? After customers and competitors. Thank you, Hima. Thanks, Ankit. That's my job. Explaining things with patience and in an easy way. That's my job, sir. Allowance to the import of cars from different countries, 1991. Macro environment to cars company. Absolutely right, Kriti. Great example. 1991 LPG. हमने LPG भी पढ़ना है. I think chapter 4 we'll study about LPG. Chapter 4, 5 interrelated ही है. We'll study about that. So I've taken this from Adios Amigos, right? जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा से कॉपी कर लिया हमने. There's a question, how does government affect the business environment? Why not? Government means everything that is happening. Abhi, everyone knows there is in news that Reliance is getting a lot of benefit because the government is changing or this and that, or Patanjali is getting. That is how the government influences. That is how people perceive. Even if it is not so, even if it is so, no one knows it. But that is how businesses react to it. So if certain group of politicians or the government, the elected members, you and me have elected the government, right? Abhi, if we start questioning the government, that means we are questioning our own choice. So you make your, if you are questioning your choice, then you change your choice. Right? If you're not questioning your choice, that means it's okay. Right? That is what I think. So government also influences the business through its policies, through subsidy. Abhi sabko small businesses ko it is given 5 lakh subsidy, or it is promoting electric vehicles, it is promoting child education, it is promoting female entrepreneurship. So that is how government influences businesses, right? Allowance हो गया, कंपटीटर्स दूसरे कंपटीटर का प्रोडक्ट देख के जैसे प्रोडक्ट डेवलप कर ले. हाँ, सो दैट इज अ स्ट्रैटेजी सर. वो कस्टमर नहीं हुआ. अब इफ दे आर कॉपिंग योर प्रोडक्ट, दे स्टिल योर कंपटीटर. कस्टमर थोड़ी ना हो गया. दे स्टिल योर कंपटीटर, कॉपी कर रहे थे. फॉर इकोनॉमिक्स हिंदी मीडियम में आई थिंक आपका एग्जाम विल आल्सो बी इन हिंदी. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज हिंदी मीडियम, राइट? आपका क्वेश्चन पेपर विल आल्सो बी इन हिंदी. MCQs, you will at foundation level you only have MCQs. I'll एक बारी check the question download वाला thing. Fiscal policy we will do that tomorrow. Fiscal policy macro environment में we will discuss पूरा economy. Saturday को पढ़ेंगे, मजा आएगा, right? LPG liberalization privatization वाला भी chapter we will study, right? It is mandatory to apply a register for intermediate course now, or we can see. I think it is without clearing foundation. Can you apply for intermediate? I don't know. They will ask for your mark sheet for foundation, right? Or if you or whenever it is possible, just apply as soon as you can. Do not wait. I have seen my friends losing 6 months by being late in filling up their exam forms and filling up their registration, right? So please be very careful about the dates. Fiscal policy कल पढ़ेंगे दोस्त, और next session में. Awesome. Thank you. Can we file the case if they copy a strategy? Absolutely yes, you can, Ayushi. You can. Infringement करके बोलते हैं उसको. Intellectual property rights के cases होते हैं, right? All of these things happen. People do cases against each other when they copy their products. Intermediate में भी you will have MCQs, but थोड़े से tough होते हैं, थोड़े से lengthy होते हैं, and you have MCQs, right? More into case scenario basis. You have cases वहाँ पे, right? Cool. So we are already above 2-3 minutes now. Good that we have this conversation, question and answer thing, right? So I'll see you in the next session, guys. We will start with macro environment. Quickly we'll do macro also. We'll try to start chapter 3 also उसमें, right? So that we keep a flow of this entire syllabus, right? Macro पढ़ेंगे, बड़ा मजा आएगा. Very good components. Economics के बारे में थोड़ा सा समझेंगे, right? So be excited for the next session, and I will see you guys in the next one on Saturday, right? All right, guys, take care. Thanks for today.